Hello, everybody. This is Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And I am not at the archive. I am traveling with my wife and her family. We're in Rhode Island. And today we're going to look at some Trolls. So I'm not going to be there to do the show live. But I got some films lined up for you, ones that we have not seen for the most part. We're going to start off with What Drugs Do. And then the next film is called Overdose, or you could say What Drugs Did. Then Stop, Look, and Think, featuring Art Linkletter. And then Personal Health for Girls. I think we've shown that one before, but it's a different copy that we've scanned. And then Development of the Individual, and I believe that's the title. The title is clipped, but it's one of those wonderful McGraw-Hill films. But yes, the plan is I'll probably, what is tomorrow, Wednesday? Yeah, so probably 2 more days of pre-recorded shows as we're going to be traveling more. But I appreciate you guys watching and commenting. And if you like what you saw, you could hit the thumbs up. You can hit the like button. You can go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks, patreon.com/avgeeks, or you can support us via the super thanks button. Yeah, we will see you live at some point, and maybe I'll be able to look in, depending on where I am and what the cell tower signal is like. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Cannabis sativa.
Gun is made from?
I'm giving you a sedative to help you relax.
Like sleeping pills?
Yes, just relax now.
These are amphetamines. They reduce your appetite and make you feel more energetic.
That's what the kids call speed. Or milder, smoother, less...
It's a drug? No, you can't have any beer. It has alcohol in it.
Alcohol is a drug.
That's LSD. There's enough there for about 10,000 doses. Now what I'm going to do is give you a little Novocaine.
Sometimes the dentist uses Novocaine so it doesn't hurt when he fills your teeth. Novocaine is similar to cocaine, which is made from the leaves of the coca plant.
It's the caffeine in coffee. Caffeine is a drug.
Miriam, I have a shot for you that will help your pain.
Narcotics like morphine and codeine can relieve pain. Heroin is a narcotic too.
Tranquilizers.
Aspirin.
All these are drugs.
Why? What makes them drugs?
Well, a drug is anything a person takes that changes the way the body works.
How?
Your body is made of cells. Your bones, muscles, blood, nerves, skin, everything. And the cells use food, water, and oxygen to keep you living. When a drug is taken, it changes the way the cells work.
Then what happens?
When the cells work differently, this can change the way the body works and can change the way you feel. You know, like when you're sick or you hurt yourself. The doctor knows if a drug is needed and what drug can help you get back to normal. Different drugs work in different ways, and not all drugs are used just to cure disease. There are some drugs that work especially in the nerve and brain cells and can change a person's mood or feelings besides causing other changes in the body.
What do those drugs do?
By themselves, they don't do anything. But taken into the body, some drugs like coffee, diet pills, or cigarettes can stimulate or speed up the activity of the cells.
What would it feel like?
Can you remember being frightened suddenly? I'll bet his heart is beating faster, and he probably feels more alert. That's a little like you'd feel if you took a stimulant drug. Other drugs can depress or slow down the cell's activity. They can relieve pain and make a person feel more relaxed.
I'm relaxed now.
Well, it's more like the feeling you have when you're just falling asleep. You're not quite awake, but you're not asleep either. That's what depressant drugs do. They slow things down.
What about LSD?
LSD, and drugs like LSD, seem to change the way a person sees or senses the things around him. Sort of like, well, have you ever seen those mirrors that are curved to make you look very tall or short? Scientists aren't sure yet just how LSD acts in the body to make those kinds of changes. They aren't sure about marijuana either, but it seems to combine a stimulant effect and a depressant effect and act a little like LSD. People feel different kinds of effects because of the ways different drugs work in the body.
Did those things always happen?
Those are the kinds of things that usually happen with various types of drugs. What actually happens depends on what drug and how much a person takes and how a drug is taken. It depends on who takes the drug. Our bodies don't all work the same, and neither do our minds. People expect different things when they take a drug. So what happens depends on why and when and where a drug is taken.
Wow, I feel great.
Corey, I don't feel so good. I think I'm gonna get sick. I don't feel a thing.
So, you can't really tell what'll happen.
No, you can't.
Is that why people are so concerned about drugs?
Partly. And, well, partly because of some problems that can come up.
What kind of problems?
Each of us is different, of course, but there's one thing that can happen to anyone. Drug taking can become a habit.
Like smoking cigarettes?
That's a good example, but it can happen with any drug. People who take the same drug over and over again can come to depend on getting the drug's effects all the time. They feel like they have to have the drug and get very upset if they can't get it. This is an emotional reaction. It's different from addiction, where a person can get physically upset. This can happen if a person keeps on taking large doses of some drugs every day for a long time. His body gets used to having the drugs to keep on working normally, and he'll get sick if he suddenly stops taking the drug. Addiction can happen with sleeping pills, alcohol, or narcotic drugs, when too much is taken too regularly. There's another kind of a problem with too much of a drug all at once.
Like the time I ate too much candy and had a terrible stomach ache?
Your body was rebelling. It couldn't take too much all at once. When somebody takes too much of a drug, an overdose, the body rebels too. The drug can cause changes so great that the body just can't keep on going. A person can get very sick or even die. But people aren't alone in this world, and some of the problems that come up involve other people.
Listen, it was great. Thanks for inviting me. I'm glad you come. Give me a call and I'll... Yeah. Oh, that'd be fine. You'll be okay.
When someone's feeling the effects of a drug, they may not be able to be careful of themselves or other people.
Bob, may I have a key, please?
Why?
Don't you think I should drive?
Yeah, okay.
Besides, some drugs are controlled by law as to where you can buy them and under what circumstances.
485-86, 10-7 the station.
Other drugs are controlled even more strictly.
359, Melbourne. 1182, El Benito, Camino Alto.
If drugs can cause all these problems, why do people take them?
Flying, speed, tripping, strung out. You meet him somewhere in the middle of his journey. You don't know where he's coming from or where he's going. You've reached him at a turning point that can lead him back or lose him. And the only signpost you can see says overdose. Amphetamines, alcohol, aspirins, hash, glue, horse, mescaline, phencyclidine, THC, uppers, downers, hallucinogens, medicines, booze, hard drugs. There are a lot of different ways to start the OD trip, but they lead to a common destination. Almost all overdose deaths come from hypoxia, lack of oxygen caused by depressed breathing. Every overdose victim, no matter what he's taken, may need your help to keep breathing. That's the fundamental fact of OD emergency treatment. You begin, of course, with ABC, airway, breathing, circulation. But more than a pulse, you'll need to check blood pressure, get an exact systolic value you can use as a baseline to monitor any changes. For the overdose victim is on a trip. He may not stay where you find him when you first come on the scene. He may be stable for a while, then plunge into a respiratory depression spiral that, unchecked, leads to death. Check his level of consciousness. If he's drowsy, he'll react to voice.
Hey, wake up.
Leave me alone.
Or give a vocal reaction to pain.
Don't.
You can tell if he's pretending unconsciousness by a quick lift of the eyelids. The comatose victim looks straight ahead. The pretender tries to hide. Another good check is the arm drop. The pretender is careful to protect himself. The real one isn't. If the victim is truly unconscious, you take the most important step in overdose treatment: the bag mask. Oxygen alone is not enough. Overdose of any kind affects the brain, depresses breathing, causes a hypoxia spiral. Lack of oxygen leads to lower breathing, which in turn reduces oxygen intake even further. This is the only way to make sure that oxygen gets into his system. You have to assist. It's important to measure the level of consciousness right away, so you can determine his condition and spot any later change. The lightly comatose victim has a defensive reaction to pain stimulus. If he's more comatose, his reaction may be non-defensive, movement unrelated to the location of the pain. And if he's in deep coma, he's very close to death, and there may be no physical reaction at all. Whatever his level of consciousness, be alert for changes. If he goes any deeper, call the hospital at once. As soon as you've taken care of the victim's immediate needs, make a quick assessment of the situation. Is it OD, or illness, or trauma, or a combination? If there are witnesses, ask questions.
What happened?
He passed out.
How long ago?
20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know if he hit his head on anything when he fell down?
He fell flat backwards. He
might
didn't
have
hit
hit
any
his head
furniture.
pretty hard when he landed, but
Has he been drinking it all today?
We split a pitcher of beer during lunch.
Just the one?
Just one. Is he going to be okay?
I think so. Does he have any medical problems? Does he take any pills or anything today?
yeah, he does. I saw him take a couple right after he got back from lunch.
You know what he takes?
Oh, I really don't.
No, they're on the dresser.
Oh, I'll see if I can find it.
Please.
Frequently, you'll find there's more than one
You know what his
substance.
problem is?
Alcohol and tranquilizers, diet pills and narcotics, every imaginable mixture. If there's time, look around for bottles, pills, anything the victim might have ingested. But don't lose time playing Sherlock Holmes at the risk of the victim's life. Where his trip started doesn't matter as much as where he's headed right now, because you're traveling with him. On the way in, check his vital signs again and again. Monitor for any downward trend. Here's where that systolic blood pressure can alert you to sudden changes in his status. Any overdose victim, OD'd on any substance, can seem okay 1 minute and take a plunge toward hypoxia the next. If you miss the signs, you may miss the point where he turns off permanently. These are the 5 key steps to bringing your overdose victim in alive. Check the airway, breathing, and circulation. Determine his level of consciousness. Assist breathing with a bag mask if he's unconscious. Assess the situation for possible trauma, illness, and how much of what was taken when. Most important, monitor his vital signs. Is he going up or down? His life may depend on your knowing the answer. Let's look at the outlines of a few OD calls, situations that actually happened. Watch how the EMTs handled each call and ask yourself, what would you do? We'll start with the case of the happy kid.
Gonna be okay? Want me to call your folks?
If you throw up, maybe he'll feel better.
Huh?
Sometimes it helps.
What do we have here? Oh, looks like he's kind of wiped out.
How you doing? Did you drink all this? Did you drink this?
I think so.
I think so.
I think he did
Anybody
it
with him?
alone. We didn't see anybody when we came on him.
You get his name, by any chance?
He wasn't very talkative.
No. I'm not saying much.
Think he'll be okay?
Oh, yeah, I think he's probably just drunk.
I don't envy him.
He's gonna have quite a head tomorrow.
Remember your first time?
Yeah. Barely.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has to learn the hard way.
Really?
Well, I don't think he'll forget about this for a while.
Blood pressure's good.
Yeah, pulse is good, too.
How do you find his folks?
Oh, the hospital will take care of that. They'll notify that.
John, I think on the way back, I'll ride up in front with you. Just let Junior sleep it off in the back.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck.
Junior didn't get a hangover. He was dead on arrival at the hospital. What would you have done to prevent it? The empty bottle was a good indication that he might have taken a lethal dose of alcohol. The victim's age was a good indicator that he could have a low tolerance for alcohol and no judgment in using it. An assessment of the situation would have pointed to acute overdose. A second check of his vital signs would have discovered his abrupt plunge into hypoxia, and a breathing assist from the bag mask would have saved his life. Then there's the case of Sherlock Holmes and the suicide attempt.
Laura? Has she said anything since you've been here, Bill?
John, I came as soon as you called and I found her like this.
Laura!
Do you want me to call her folks?
No, please, leave them out of this.
Okay.
Gentlemen, Laura,
Man, we
what
glad to
happened?
see you.
She took a whole bunch of pills. You know how long ago? Well, I talked to her on the phone about 15 minutes ago. She called me, and she was really groggy then, so...
I got here about 10 minutes ago, and she was laying just like that.
You know why she took them? We had a fight last night. She got really upset, and I think that's why.
Is she gonna be okay?
Is she gonna be all right?
Her pulse is good and strong. Have you any idea what she took?
Just what's here.
About 1/10/60.
Her pupils are big and awful sluggish.
Yeah.
Got any sleeping pills there?
Oh, look, she takes tranquilizers. I think they're in the medicine cabinet.
Look at them.
There's something here called allopurinol,
Okay.
ampicillin, this and Darvon. Yeah.
What are these things?
This is
That's
kind of
a
a...
drink.
There's a whole bunch of different ones in there.
These. Ever heard of anything Penvk?
Oh.
There's some Dilantin. That might do it.
This woman recovered, but they came close to losing her. What would you have done? It's what you wouldn't do that would help her. You wouldn't waste time playing Sherlock Holmes with a comatose victim needing a bag mask and a fast trip to the hospital. The wide variety of common drugs and all their combinations make on-the-spot diagnosis difficult. Dilated pupils can indicate alcohol or stimulants or hallucinogens, or they can mean your patient has died while you were guessing. In any overdose situation, the most important thing to assess is the victim's condition and needs. How about the case of the snoring derelict?
Hi, fellas. Greetings. What do we got here?
Another drunk.
Another drunk.
Yeah.
You know him?
Yeah, his name's Lenny. He hangs around the neighborhood quite a bit.
Watch out for this.
Yeah, one of the local juicers.
Uh-huh.
Quality of his alcohol's improved, though. He goes from wine to brandy.
Top shelf.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw him about an hour ago. He was pretty loaded then. I came back here, and there he is, passed out.
This isn't the first time he's done it.
Oh, no. They come and get him a couple of times a month.
Uh-huh.
His pulse is about 90.
90? Okay.
You guys are new around here, right?
Yeah, we normally
Haven't
don't
seen
come
you
around
before.
this part of town.
You'd recognize him.
You want to give us a hand lifting him up here?
Yeah, why not?
About 145/80.
That sounds pretty good.
Doesn't look like a lightweight.
Coat here.
Ready?
Okay.
Go.
Oh. What do you do with him now?
Oh, we'll take him down to detox, let him sleep it off.
Well, I appreciate you coming and getting him.
Better off.
Look at, he sleeps and you guys got to work.
This man might have slept longer than anyone anticipated, and not because of an overdose. What would you have done? When you assessed the situation, you'd have added up the broken bottle and the nearby steps to get a good possibility of a hard fall and resulting trauma. An assessment confirmed by a check on his level of consciousness. Deep coma, indicating a probable head injury. As for his peaceful snoring, it was a sure sign that his tongue was dropping back to occlude his airway. Let's look at a more common situation. Call it the case of Dr. Kildare and the good horse.
Come on, wake up. Come on, there's somebody here to help you. Come on, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Come on.
What happened?
It's all my fault. I just wanted him to be special. He's been gone. We went out to eat and we had a lot to drink. He just passed out.
How long has he been drinking?
Oh, we've been drinking all night.
What is that?
How long ago did he pass out?
Oh, about 20 minutes ago, but he also did a little bit of heroin, too.
How much?
Oh, just a little. He snorted a little, but it never happened like this before.
He's done it before?
Yeah, but it never happened. The guy
Come on,
said
wake
it was
up here.
special, that it would make him feel good, but it didn't. Oh,
Come on, John, wake up.
come on, honey, wake up. Is there anything I should do? Should I make some coffee or something?
No, coffee wouldn't help him.
Is he going to be all right?
Come on now, wake up here. Yeah, he'll be okay. Want to hold his head up,
Sure.
please?
Come on, honey. He'll be all right.
120 of about over 70.
His pulse is good, too.
Yeah.
Can we move him?
Yeah, why don't we move him on the stretcher?
Okay.
Go.
Come on, John. Wake up here. Try to keep him awake while you're riding with him.
All right. Get a palpated pulse here. Got a systolic about 115.
Okay.
John. Hey, John.
You saw them go through all the right steps. Airway, breathing, circulation, level of consciousness. Assisting breathing with the bag mask. Assessing the situation, questioning the witnesses, identifying the drugs, even rechecking the vital signs to determine his trend. What else would you do at this point? You'd stop wasting time playing Dr. Kildare and get him to the hospital. As long as you keep a close watch on him en route, keeping him awake is less important than keeping him alive. More important than any list of steps or rules or do's and don'ts in overdose situations. Keep them breathing till you get them in. And the most effective diagnostic and treatment tool you can work with is your common sense.
Continues into the future. Too many never reach the other side. But we always blame the driver because it isn't always the driver's fault. What's the answer? More protection? Well, to and from school, the record is good. Most children are injured or killed by cars after school and on weekends within a few blocks of home, but they can be protected everywhere, at all times, through education for safety. The following film is primarily for children, but it is also important for the parents because its lessons must be repeated and emphasized. Children should be seen and not hurt. And their best protection is education that trains them to protect themselves in the danger hours after school, in the danger area around home, the area that should be the safest place of all. It's up to parents to make a concerted effort to help continue school safety after school, to take the danger out of after-school hours, and make the home neighborhood safe. There are only a few points to be made, but they're all important. Watch for them in this film and help the boys and girls to remember them. If you do, young pedestrians will learn respect for the street and its moving cars and how to cross so that they always arrive whole and happy on the other side.
To get from one place to another, there is usually a best way to go. The ones who use the best way soon start a trail that is easy to follow. In America, the first trails were made by animals. And then Indians used the old animal trails and made more of their own. The first settlers who came to America followed the trails they found and opened still more trails themselves. When the settlers began to use wagons, trails turned into roads. The early automobiles had a hard time on dirt roads in bad weather. And so the roads were paved. Roads that let drivers get around from place to place in town are called streets. Streets never really end. You can go from any street in America to any other street, in any other town. And cars are going somewhere on these streets all the time, day and night. But what about people on foot? Well, people on foot still have trails. In town, these trails are usually paved and called sidewalks. But sidewalks do not go on and on. Most sidewalks have to stop when they come to a street. Ever since the old days, people on foot have learned that they have to look out for what is moving in the road or the street. If there isn't one there already, you have to imagine a stop sign wherever the street stops the sidewalk. You have to stop to be sure you don't try to use the street at the same time an automobile is using it. Drivers sometimes can't help but run into you if you are in the street at the wrong time. An official police car will show us how hard it is for a car to stop quickly and why a driver may hit you even though he doesn't want to.
Traveling at only 25 miles an hour, a car is moving 37 feet each second, or about twice the length of the car itself. The driver, if he sees somebody starting to cross in front of him, takes almost a second before he can put his foot on the brake pedal. During this time, the car has already moved 30 feet. Now, after he has his foot on the brake, it is going to take at least 30 more feet to bring the car to a stop. So if the person on foot has stepped out while the car is less than 60 feet away, the car is going to hit him, and there isn't anything the driver can do about it.
See? Here is where the car is when the person steps out. This is where the driver sees him. And here is where he puts his foot on the brake. And this is how far it is going to take for the car to stop. Now, what if the person who stepped out had been able to see this mark where the car was going to stop? He would never have stepped out, would he? So, when you don't know how far the car will take before it can stop, it's best to just let it go by. The police car had good brakes, and it took 30 feet to stop. Many cars do not have good brakes and take even longer to stop. You might think, well, even if the car can't stop, I can stop. I'm on foot. All I have to do is just stop. It takes longer than you think.
A young person walking normally suddenly sees a car coming. But it takes a second or so to see the car and decide what to do. Then he stops. Actually, it has taken 6 to 8 feet to come to a stop. And running, it takes about 16 feet to stop.
This is the reason why you should always walk across the street. And don't forget, everything depends on whether the driver can see you. Can this driver see this person about to cross the street? No. From where the driver is sitting, the corner post of the car makes a blind spot. Now, there is one way to be sure you are not in a blind spot, and that the driver can see you. If you can see his eyes, you can tell if he can see you. Along the street, you can often be in a blind spot, as far as a driver is concerned. If you are behind a tree, or a bush, or if you are behind a parked car, you are in a blind spot. Many people are struck by cars when they suddenly appear from behind something in the middle of the block. The driver doesn't want to hit them, but it takes time to stop a car. Even if it is only going 25 miles an hour. And if it is going faster, it's going to take even longer to stop. The driver doesn't expect anyone to be trying to cross the street here. And it is always extra dangerous to try to cross anywhere but at a corner or a painted crosswalk. Remember, to get from one place to another, there is usually a best way to go. The best way to get from one side of the street to another is to go safely. This means at a corner or a crosswalk. It means if there is a traffic light, wait for a new green light. One that has just changed to green, to give you time to look both ways, to be sure all cars have stopped. To give you time to look behind you, to see if there is a car coming down the cross street, a car that is going to turn at the corner. At any corner, the driver may start up again if he doesn't see you. If you can see the driver's eyes, you can tell whether he can see you. Trees, fences, and parked cars make blind spots. But you don't run out in the middle of the block anyway. Because we have found out that you can't stop fast. And we've seen that it takes a driver a long ways to stop. And that he may hit you, even though he doesn't want to. So you always cross at the corner. And you stop, because even the sidewalk stops when it comes to the street. When you always cross safely, you get into the habit of crossing safely, and it becomes easier to remember to do it. Because even though it seems you are safe at the stop sign, at the stoplight, in the crosswalks, you never take chances. You always use your eyes, ears. You always stop, look, and think.
Pam and Monica Newhouse might be a lot like you. They're young, always on the move, and they want to look attractive. Makeup helps, but using makeup is only one of the many things you can do to help you look and feel your best. Being attractive begins with your own personal health. Part of that is being clean. Sweat. Your body gives off about a pint of it every day. You know what it's like to be near someone who doesn't bathe very often. The smell isn't very attractive, is it? Your body really needs to be washed all over almost every day to prevent body odor. That's especially important during your menstrual period, when your sweat glands are the most active. Menstruation is a natural and normal body process. For most girls, it doesn't cause serious problems. However, if there is unusual discomfort, have a checkup. See your physician. He can also give you information to help you choose between external pads with a belt and tampons, which are internal pads. But whichever you use, change the pads about 3 times a day during the first days of your period. Both Pam and Monica keep track of their periods on a calendar. That way, they know when to expect them. Being clean is part of keeping your body and skin healthy and attractive. If you have problem skin, there are a lot of things you can do for it. If your skin is oily, the best thing is to wash with plenty of soap. If dry skin is your problem, try a cleansing cream. It moisturizes your skin and keeps it soft and smooth. But whether your skin is dry or oily, it's important to completely dry it after you wash to avoid chapping. A brisk rubbing also removes the dry, dead skin cells. Removing them helps keep your skin smooth and soft, clean and fresh. Oh yes, one more added protection against body odor is a deodorant that counteracts odor, or an antiperspirant that keeps you from perspiring. But be careful if you have sensitive skin. Some deodorants or antiperspirants can irritate it. Remember though, deodorants shouldn't be used instead of bathing. If you don't bathe, a deodorant won't fool anyone. Oh yes, your teeth. You know about seeing the dentist at least twice a year. But do you know how to really keep your teeth clean? Right. Brush your teeth in the direction they grow. Brush down in the upper teeth, brush up on the lower ones. And then brush across on the chewing surfaces. Simple. And it helps prevent bad breath better than many mouthwashes. If you can't brush after eating, at least rinse out your mouth. Water makes a fine mouthwash. Wigs are fun. But don't forget your natural hair. It's important for you to take care of it. Make it a habit to brush and comb your hair. That keeps it clean and distributes the natural oil, which gives it that soft glow. Brushing also stimulates blood circulation in the scalp, which helps keep your hair healthy. How often you shampoo your hair depends on how it looks and feels to you. Monica does hers twice a week, and that's a pretty good average. It's really important to rinse well. Rinsing gets all the soap out and helps remove dried skin flakes from your scalp, what you call dandruff. Dandruff is really a skin problem, you know. Acne is another. Acne is caused by overactive oil glands, and it's fairly common among teenagers. If you have an acne problem, your doctor may prescribe a special skin medication for you. But if you treat yourself, be careful. Some acne products may irritate your skin and make the acne worse instead of better. Picking at acne doesn't help it either, because that can spread the infection and leave scars. There are two things you can do to help prevent acne. One is to keep your face clean. Give it at least 3 good washings a day. And the other is to eat a balanced diet. You know what that is. You know, food can be fun. Try different ways of preparing food. Try fixing new and exotic dishes. Vegetables are a great source of natural vitamins if they're not overcooked. Try them fresh or steamed. And don't forget quick energy foods, like carbohydrates, from the bread cereal food group. And use your imagination in preparing meats and fish, important protein sources. And instead of rich pastries or gooey sundaes for dessert, try having fresh fruit with cheese. Cheese and milk are rich in calcium, good for your bones and teeth. Your diet also affects your skin and hair. Of course, it isn't always possible to eat a balanced diet, but you should try because your dress size, which means your shape and your weight, is also affected by your diet. You don't have to be reminded that having a good figure is part of being attractive. Both Pam and Monica control their figures by watching their food intake and by getting plenty of exercise. Exercise builds and strengthens your muscles and helps your blood circulate. Exerting yourself keeps you from getting flabby. Your legs and body stay firm and attractive. Take time to relax, too. That helps release tension. Resting is also important. If you loosen tight muscles, you can work and play better without being tense or nervous. Relaxation is more than simply doing nothing. Relaxation is a releasing of tension in your mind and body. Getting enough sleep is important, too. 8 hours a night is a good average to let your body repair itself and build up energy for the next day. Oh, and your feet. Did you know that far more women than men have trouble with their feet? Of course, shoe style is important, but it's just as important to make sure your shoes fit properly. A good fit helps you avoid corns, calluses, and ingrown toenails. Comfortable, well-fitted shoes help you stand and walk with grace and poise. That's part of your overall attractiveness, too. Well, that about ends shopping for Pam and Monica today. One of the most important aspects of health is your attitude toward yourself. Your attitude affects your posture, your walk, the way you dress. You know what tobacco can do to your body, and as you've also been told many times, alcohol and other drugs can all damage your body and your mind. So why mess with them? I mean, why not just find out who you are, accept what you can't change about yourself, and improve what you can, and take care of yourself.
It's common observation that no two individuals are alike. From the shape of his response to discipline, each human being is unique. Differences like the color of our eyes, hair, and skin, straightness or curliness of hair, body build, stature, what we might call physical differences, are inherited. Obviously, physical inheritance sets sharp limits to behavior. No amount of environmental influence can make a human being climb like a monkey, swim like a seal, or fly like a bird, any more than a seagull could learn chemistry. In institutions for the feeble-minded, we find certain rare and extreme forms of feeble-mindedness that are definitely inherited. While some investigators maintain that such disorders as schizophrenia are hereditary, other psychologists flatly disagree. Still more controversial is the part played by heredity in precocious genius. How can a Sammy Reshevsky play master-rank chess at an age when most of us are barely out of the playpen? What makes a Mozart start writing creditable sonatas at an age when ordinary children can't even keep time? No one knows for sure. However, within the wide range of behavior we call normal, science now feels pretty sure that individuals act differently mainly because of differences in environment. Not even the most enthusiastic believer in heredity would claim that anyone ever found a gene for coquettishness, or a gene for being shy or outgoing, a gene for chatting easily with the opposite sex, or for preferring the company of simpler organisms. For this is the realm not of physical structure, but of behavior, not so much of heredity as of environment. At this point, the biologist steps out and the psychologist steps in. Just what do we mean by environment? In popular speech, its meaning is essentially geographical. But to the psychologist, environment means more than just the nation a person lives in, or the town, the street, or even the house. It includes all the people he comes in contact with. In fact, everything he ever saw, heard, felt, smelled, or tasted since he was born, and even before he was born. For we know that the 9 months of prenatal life can have important consequences for the later psychological development of the child. So, by environment, we actually mean the sum total of stimuli to which the individual will respond from the moment of conception to the moment of death. We say to which the individual will respond because the only part of the environment that counts for him is the part to which he responds. For example, if Tommy were deaf, the tinkling of a bell would not exist for him. It would not be part of his environment. People sometimes ask, if environment is what shapes behavior, how come two brothers like Tommy and Jimmy are so different? They've had exactly the same environment. But have they really had exactly the same environment? To mention the biggest difference first, Tommy's environment includes an older brother, while Jimmy's includes a kid brother, a very big difference indeed. Also, we say loosely that Tommy and Jimmy have the same parents, but Mr. and Mrs. Bradley were new parents when Jimmy was born, and Jimmy's first years were spent as an only child of two inexperienced parents. 4.5 years later, Tommy was born into an environment that already contained two somewhat more experienced parents and a 4-year-old brother. As a matter of fact, having to yield the center of attention to the new arrival caused Jimmy quite a bit of jealousy at the time, and this had a lasting influence on his personality, just as the presence of a competing older brother necessarily had its effect, for better or for worse, on little Tommy's development. As they grew older, the difference in age made them respond differently to various events. When the Williamses moved in next door, Jimmy quite naturally welcomed Madge Williams as a playmate of his own age range. To Tommy, however, Madge represented only a highly successful competitor for Jimmy's attention. Thus, the advent of Madge provided Jimmy with more opportunities for social development, while Tommy, feeling left out of things, showed a tendency to console himself with toys and small animals. In other words, the effect Madge had on Tommy was just exactly the opposite of the effect she had on Jimmy. Mrs. Bradley's people were farmers, so Tommy's fondness for animals was instantly interpreted as hereditary. "That's the Watson in him," cried Aunt Cecilia. A Watson, of course. Jimmy, however, looked so much like his paternal grandfather, who at 77 is still the highest paid toolmaker in Omaha, that his dad was sure Jimmy took after the Bradleys and would be very mechanical. Therefore, almost from the time he could crawl, Jimmy's toys and Christmas presents consisted of tools, erector sets, and mechanical puzzles. Not surprisingly, Jimmy has developed considerable handiness with tools, and Dad is now firmly convinced that Jimmy is a real Bradley, meaning a born mechanic. Actually, however, this is a clear-cut example of the influence of what psychologists call social expectancy, which often makes people become what other people expect them to become. Jimmy, for instance, learned at an early age that living up to what others expected of him was a good way of pleasing his parents and of getting their attention. Just as a fraction of a gram's difference in the force of a collision may make an unpredictable difference in the path of a pinball, so today nearly everyone realizes that small events in childhood may have large consequences later on. But if environment can account for many differences, it can also explain why members of the same family are often alike in so many ways. Both Jimmy and Tommy are strongly influenced by what Mom and Dad do. For instance, Mrs. Bradley frequently uses the expression, "You've got another think coming," and so do Jimmy and Tommy. Parental attitudes determine children's physical and cultural surroundings, their training in neatness and discipline, their sleeping and getting up habits, along with most of their ideas about morality, manliness, femininity, and even what time people eat their suppers. Mom and Dad are pretty regular churchgoers, and of course, Tommy and Jimmy go to Sunday school and believe all the things Mom and Dad do. It's also a safe bet that both Tommy and Jimmy will forever take for granted that Mom's way of preparing and serving food is the natural way. In the hope of implanting in their young a proper respect for good books, the Bradleys carefully purchased certain standard sets. However, since Mom and Dad seldom get around to opening a book themselves, both Tommy and Jimmy tend to regard books as something you lug back and forth to school. Right next door at the Williamses, a very different set of behavior patterns is being passed on. Again, not by biological inheritance, but by the intimacy of family environment. The Williamses go in for such things as modern art. Though their income is the same as the Bradleys, they don't feel they can afford a TV set. But they always seem to have money enough for books, hi-fi, phonograph records, and tickets to the ballet. Mrs. Williams had 5 years of ballet herself, and by some odd twist of fate, Madge is also studying ballet. Mr. Bradley once saw Mr. Williams with an apron on, helping in the kitchen, and has never really respected him since. And so Jimmy and Tommy were also properly horrified at a man being such a sissy. Naturally, little Madge Williams sees nothing strange about a man taking his turn at cooking and washing dishes. Like Jimmy and Tommy, Madge will probably always prefer the kind of food she had at home, including French bread, slightly undercooked vegetables, and fresh ground pepper. Madge, you will find, has more or less the same notions as her parents and expresses them in the same language. She calls the evening meal dinner. The Bradley kids call theirs supper. Lots of things considered important by the Bradleys are entirely overlooked by the Williamses, and vice versa. Like the Bradley kids, Madge tends to think that Mommy and Daddy are right, and people who do otherwise are a little odd. To sum up, there are many ways in which family environment can help to produce family resemblances in behavior. We have seen, for instance, that the kind of home the Bradleys provide is producing in their children a whole pattern of behavior that contrast sharply with what is going on right next door. We saw also how social expectancy tended to make Jimmy behave more like his toolmaker grandfather. We have seen, too, how family environment may serve to make two brothers dissimilar in some respects. What we actually know about the development of individual differences seems to boil down to this. Heredity sets very broad limiting conditions to behavior. Man lacks the agility to climb like a monkey. He lacks the flippers to swim like a seal, the wings to fly like a bird. But within the structural limits set by heredity, the effects of environment can be regarded as decisive. Or, to put it concretely, any normal human being can learn to read, dance, use tools, or be affectionate. But what he reads, or how he does any of these things, or whether he ever learns to do them at all, will depend on whether he grows up with or without books, whether he ever gets a chance to handle tools, and whether anyone ever responds to his affection. In short, on his environment.